We'll start today's session. Uh, Today's thought of the day is our present degenerated state is the reaction of thoughts, and by the help of thoughts alone will we be able to evolve ourselves. We'll read that article from Showers of Divine Grace, Divine Pursuit. Message at Vijayawada on 25th May 1967. It is with a feeling of gratitude towards Dr. V. Parthasarthi for constructing a room for satsang that I speak to you today. I hope it to be a real work of the highest order. The work he has been doing so far will very easily develop. Our ancestors had sought their ways of realization in the forest, away from the life of action, forsaking all ties of worldly connections with their fellow beings and others. We, under the surge mark system, try to create such an atmosphere around us in our homes so that they serve the purpose of forest. What we do is to attach ourselves more and more to God, and the result is that non-attachment follows automatically as a corollary. We thus come to the state of vairagya in a natural way without any effort on our part. There should be a goal before us, and we should try to attain it in the most natural way. There are many methods of realization, and each one claims its efficacy. But it is our duty, before entering into any system, to consider which is the best system, and it depends upon one's own judgment and the grace of God to get a real method to solve the mystery of one's life. It is an admitted fact that thought force of man is nearer to God. Take a pause here. Anything to add, sir?
No, it's fine. We have to meditate on them. That's all. Contemplate.
Continue. Our present degenerated state is the reaction of thoughts, and by the help of thoughts alone will we be able to evolve ourselves. So, if it is utilized in divine pursuit, it will ultimately bring us nearer to our goal. When the goal is before you, this means that you are getting the air of purity, which brings freshness to you and prepares you for further progress. Once the initial step is taken, the other steps follow automatically. If the man is restless for achievement of the goal, there must be one and only one goal so that one may not form different channels for the different goals. Lord Krishna has emphasized that one should do action but should not think of the result. Why did he advise Nishtama Karma? The reason is that if you think of the result, you will jump into it. And the force which is to urge one to action towards the objective will be divided. And thus, one will be making channels like the different canals in a river, exhausting the force of the river. There should be an all out attempt to gain one and only one object, and one must not think of the result. Because otherwise, you will distribute your force in different channels and the force will be reduced greatly. God is the subtlest being. Somehow, if we become subtle as He is, it means union. In the search mark system, we try to grow subtle from the very beginning, and the teacher also tries for that. We only think of duty as worship, which may bring us to a subtler state. We also, as I have said elsewhere, check artificial vibrations which are found and try to have divine vibrations. In this system, our whole attention is directed towards subtleness, and hence we discard, according to yoga, those things which add grossness to the system. Thus, the thing goes on, and the time comes when grossness bids farewell, and subtleness also loses its charm. What comes after it is nothing short of what we want and which we are seeking. I earnestly pray that all of you may attain that conditionless condition. Any questions? Anyone?
क्या वो गेम ऑफ लाइफ पढ़ेंगे फिर
Ha!
जो we can read here.
Yeah.
Forward of Game of Life. It was a few months ago that fortune favored me with a copy of the second edition of the book Towards Infinity, published in 1970. It is a small book of about 50 pages. If we look at the book Path of Grace that has come out in the year 2006, expounding the various conditions and states, it gives an idea of the amount of research that has been put into it. The title of Bhashyakar given to Sri Ramanuja for his expounding of the system of Sri Vaishnavism is equally applicable to Sri Revered K.C. Narayana, who has expounded the system of Revered Sri Ramchandraji Maharaj of Shahajahanpur, UP, India. If the path of grace gave us an idea as to the conditions experienced in the path, the Satyapada Sopanamu is a more detailed insight into these conditions and has a certain amount of granularity, giving us more detail so as to understand the conditions better. If the conditions given in the book and in the tables of the appendix are to be understood more thoroughly, these notes have to be read and imbibed. The book has notes on 143 cells. Of these, notes till 110 gives us insights into the various psychological conditions from the first to fifth notes. The notes from 111 to 143 deal with the conditions of Brahmand, Parabrahmand, Prapanna, Prapanna Prabhu, and higher. It becomes very clear that there are various progressions and regressions in the path, and it is the Guru Krupa alone that keeps one steady on the path. It is path of grace is what needs to be understood. Even as early as the stage of cell 15, it becomes invariably necessary for the Guru Krupa, which takes us along afterwards. That is the reason why Revered Sri Ramchandraji Maharaj tells us that most people have not moved beyond that stage. There is a saying, the higher you go, the steeper you fall. As such, One's dependence on the Guru Krupa to keep steady on the path is of even more importance, since the mistakes done at the higher stages are dealt with more severely. In the letter dated 22nd October 1979 to Sri K.C. Narayana, the master wrote, "You know, Narayana, that I have done whatever the need was for the spiritual life of a man, and the work is still continued. The system is there. My support is there. Yet, it is for the persons like you to first educate Abhyasis and then do further research. I have great hope from you." Towards this blessing of the Master, Sri K.C. Narayana has been putting all his efforts relentlessly, and the results are very clearly visible to us. During the discussions of the game of life, Sri K.C. Narayana has expressed that this work is a work in progress and that it should not stop like the traditional Paramapada Sopana Pathamo. It is hoped that aspirants take his words seriously and start girding up their loins to assist him towards the goal of the Master. In the service of the Master, K.C. Srihari.
Yeah, I can read about first cell. Yeah.
One second, let me. Okay. First state, Uragamu. This stage of serpent is universal in the development of consciousness. Majority of us would like to swallow something and coil into a corner, yielding to indolence. From this stage, the wise man moves on, hoping for something better than food and sleep, the basic needs and drives. No wonder the saints have called this an age of Kabandas. In Kundalini Yoga, Muladhara is the seat where the serpent is coiled. It has to move from this plane to higher levels. Kabanda means whatever we find, put it in the mouth. As a matter of fact, that is a trait of every child. For a newborn baby, whatever you give will be kept in the mouth by it. Possessiveness is an inherent characteristic of a jiva. That is the problem here. We need to come out of it. That is why it is very difficult to get out of it. Once possessiveness is developed, it might be money, people, house, or anything. We do not leave it. Give a chocolate to the children and see what happens. We ask for it back. Even if they, I only gave it, even if say I only gave it, give it back, they will not give it. That is what we mean by possessiveness here. Actually, the temperament of serpent is, after it acquires a thing, even if it is of no use to it, it does not leave it. On the other hand, it invites on itself enormous amount of danger. There will be someone waiting to kill it and take the treasure. It is just like this. There is acquisitiveness. The person thinks that he has some money. There will be a thief who will rob it from him. The animal signifies this concept. Usually, they earn by working hard, thinking that it will be useful in their last stages. Their children threaten them with dire consequences if they don't part with the earnings. They say that they will not give and ask them to take it after they pass away. Acquisition seems to be a quality of jiva initially, but it really leads to marmumu. If we say that there is a snake in a pit and that it has a treasure in it, people will demolish it completely and kill the snake. There is no meaning in collecting acquisition. All spiritual people start like that. They get attached to the wealth is that one which we get attached to it is likely to hurt you or bite you. Acquisition bites you, and once it starts biting, Once it starts biting, it covers until your entire body gets totally poisoned. In any spiritual approach, we always bring in serpent for the only reason that this is the main thing that puts you into samsara. Acquisition of not only property, acquisition of wife, acquisition of children. Father is not acquired, but children are acquired. It's a running story. We acquire a partner in life. At the time of receiving the partner, it appears very great. As and when you grow in life, then you understand what you have bargained for. We say, is it all worth it that I should have bargained for? This will come to every sadhakas. It must come. If it didn't come, it means he is not a sadhaka. It is not just wealth. That is why it is called dana. Kanya dana is something where one receives. Conceptually, this is what we start with generally. Indolence comes after acquisition. Only after my stomach is full, then indolence. Before that, where is indolence? No jivi is capable of sleeping when it is hungry. Sleep is something that comes only after stomach is full. Indolence actually further affects your sadhana. Once you become accustomed to laziness, we feel it is enough and we will talk all sorts of philosophy. That is the psychology of a lion. When it has got enough food, it will not go for hunting. Whereas the tiger will go and get another one. Lion will not go hunting till the food is hunted is over. That is why lions are supposed to be lazy. Secondly, when we start sadhana, we tie it with Kundalini. Kundalini is not sloth. Kundalini is serpent power. That is why we link up the first cell with serpent. As per the tradition of Ramanuja, all are Sheshas. He is the Adi Shesha and we are all Sheshas. God is Sheshi. We are all only reminders he is main. Whether we are there or not, it is fine. Shesha Sheshi Bhava is a big subject in Vedanta. Shesha Sheshi Bhava is a second, not condition. When we get a big amount and divide it, we end up with a remainder, which is Shesha. Nobody bothers about the Shesha. Example, when you take measurements of say 20 bags of rice using a measure, some of it remains and they leave it to the servants. In Dr. K.C. Varadachari's books, there will be a lot more like this. For Kabanda story, refer Valmiki Ramayanamu. For more on Kabanda, refer Dr. K.C.'s article. Go to the title of this chapter.
Uragamo. It's a serpent, I think.
So, Uragamo. Is it a Telugu word? I don't know.
Telugu word, Uragamo.
Uragamo.
And what is this marmamo?
I have to find out. I have to look in the dictionary, Telugu dictionary.
మర్మము అంటే జనరల్ సీక్రెట్ అంటారు.
ఏమి
సీక్రెట్ అంటారు మర్మము అంటే.
కరెక్టా? డైరెక్షన్ చూడాలా.
అదే
seems to be quality of jiva, but leads to marmamo. It's a snake. Check up.
So, sir, this is state of parigraha, right?
Which one?
This first state is state of parigraha also. That we.
Aparigraha. Parigraha
No,
is
not a parigraha. Parigraha means you are acquiring everything and sitting.
Yeah, it is common. Every human being, it is a characteristic of jiva when it is not aware of the presence of God, to be, you will have this acquisitiveness. So in yoga yamas mein, aparigraha, that means you have to develop the quality of aparigraha.
Mhm.
It's a secret, a mystery.
Mhm.
Parulok marmam cheppaku. He says it is kind of a mystery or a secret. Marmam means.
Mhm.
I think so. What it's trying to say is that when people have acquired more things, right, they try to keep it secret. Like people will not tell their salary or their bank balance. Otherwise, someone else will come and grasp it.
वो sense में नहीं है. I don't know in what sense sir is used it.
Okay.
Basically, important hai. We have to, when we analyze ourselves, study our own mind, we have to honestly assess ourselves how much of possessiveness we have. Possessiveness about that the body and mind belongs to me, the car and house and wife and children belong to me. How much of detachment you have developed. That is the first not condition, you know. So honest assessment करे तो पता लगता.
Because here it is written, right? If we say that there is a snake in the pit and that it has a treasure in it, people will demolish it completely and kill the snake.
That's, they want to acquire, you know, that's a commonest feature of any human being who is not aware of, who is under the influence of avidya or maya. The yogic word for basic ignorance is avidya. Alternately, you can call it maya. Maya is, under the influence of maya, you think money will give you happiness and pleasure. But only reconnect, only by knowing your true nature, you will get peace and happiness, not in the shadow. That is the idea, actually. This is interesting, important. Let people contemplate, and next Sunday we'll read the further ones. We have to contemplate and watch ourselves whether it is there or not.
और ये शेषा शेषी भव क्या?
Shesha is a Shesha is remainder. Sheshi is the complete one. That means we are part of God. Just like a finger is there. Finger is a part of the whole body. Suppose whole body is God. We are just like one finger or nail or one hair part of the body or something like that. Actually, remember bole to bhi ek very interesting thing. When we say we remember God, bole to, like my fingers, my hands and feet are part of the body actually. And when they are dismembered, that means they are detached from the body. And when we say remember, means when we are reattaching the part of the body, part of the limb back to the body. So that is remembering. So we are actually now detached from God. When we say remembering, we are trying to reattach ourselves to God actually. Member is a part of the body. So God is the whole, and we are the Shesha is a part of the body. Sheshi is the whole thing. Whatever remainder is called Shesha. So this is a purely Vishishta Advaitic concept where you are an inseparable part of the body. Whereas Advaita Shankara, they don't accept it. They say there is no Shesha, everything is God. Okay, we'll meet next Sunday. We'll continue with this.